Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I was going to be doing a makeup routine, and I think my makeup routine is pretty like clean girl, so I thought I would do a little tutorial because someone asked in the comments on my last video. So I thought I would just show you. So obviously before I put on any makeup, I do my skincare, which all my skincare is I use the CeraVe cleanser in the morning when I wake up, just to get rid of any oils or anything, and that's literally it. And then I have one thing that I do for skin prep, but basically this is just going to be a little tutorial, a little just routine, what products I use, what I recommend, what I don't. It's quite like a summer friendly and also school friendly, so it's quite natural but also quite cute. This is my vanity, by the way. So I've got the cutest flowers here. This is from my GCSEs. I've also got this little mirror, and that's also what I use for more up close. And also I have these clips, which I'm just going to put in now, which I just use to keep my hair out of my face while I am doing my makeup. Now before I do anything, the first thing to do is I have the Real Techniques beauty sponge, and the first thing I do is I go and wet that because I way prefer to use a wet beauty sponge than a dry one. I think it just blends out better. Now I do have a few products that I've ran out of, so I'm having to use like kind of alternative, but I will say the ones that I like prefer and also like my recommendations. A product I got recently, which I actually keep in my little skincare fridge here, I'll show you. It's so cute, this little fridge. I actually got the Glow Recipe toner. Now I'm gonna be dead honest with you, I don't use it that often, not because there's anything wrong with it, but because I keep forgetting that I have it because I keep it in my skincare fridge and I don't really use my skincare fridge too often. But we're gonna use it today because I really wanna carry on trying this out. So this is the Glow Recipe Pore Tightening Watermelon Toner. This was a super viral toner. This is the mini one, by the way. I don't like to use too much because also I'd like to add that this routine is for sensitive skin. I have very sensitive skin, but this is such a good like primer as well because it's making my face super sticky, so I bet this could be used instead of a primer because it's so nice. Makes the base really smooth as well. Perfect. Now, the next thing I use before I do anything else on the base is I use a primer. I use this, which I got sent by Topicals, so thank you so much, Topicals. It is the Sealed Active Scar Primer. Now, I don't have any scars, but it is so pore blurring. I love. It also just makes my makeup stay on a lot longer. So I just put that on. It also makes your base so smooth. So just for reference, I have quite oily skin, so this is also suitable for oily skin. Sorry guys, I just changed my top because I think it's quite hard to actually do makeup in a long sleeve top, and I don't want to get anything on my top, so I just changed. I'm just making sure the lighting is good, so I'm actually going to move to there. But let's actually get started with the makeup. So the first thing I use is I use the Supergoop sunscreen, and I actually mix it with the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. I use the medium glow. Now as you can see, I obviously just rub that in with my hands. It's quite a simple one. And that's the base kind of like done, like that's what I do in terms of a base. Now concealer, I use the Rare Beauty one. This is in the shade 120C, so cool toned. Even though I'm pretty sure I'm warm toned, I actually don't know, but I got tested for this one and I've used it quite a lot. I've also like repurchased this many times. So I just put it under my eyes. I also put it on any spots. I currently don't have any spots, so I only have them on my chest, which is really annoying. So also if someone could give me some recommendations for what I can do for these, because I am going to actually put a bit of concealer on these because they are pretty red and pretty annoying. By the way, all the brushes and the beauty blender are all from Real Techniques, so this is the Real Techniques concealer brush as well. Now I do use this concealer brush and I just stipple it to blend it out. Then what I do is I grab my beauty blender and then I just also blend that out further. And that's all I do for my concealer. Now next I use bronzer. So I use the Say one. I'm pretty sure this is in the shade Spritz. Yeah. And this is the liquid bronzer. I love this one so much. Like, it's so easy and blends out really nicely. I also like the Rare Beauty bronzer stick. I use the shade Happy Soul, but it's a little bit harder to blend, I will say that. And I prefer a liquid. That one was more like a cream, so yeah. And bronzer brush. I start up on my forehead, making sure it's like actually kind of like into my hairline, so there's not like lines, because again we want this to look natural, not like, you know. I kind of just go super fast going like this with the brush instead of never swiping. That's like not what you do unless you're trying to like blend it out like this, but you've got to stipple. And I completely blend it out with the beauty blender because we don't want any harsh lines, we don't want to be looking orange. Now the next thing I do is I use this Giorgio Armani bronzer here, and I actually go in with a bit more bronzer but just on my nose here because I did that bit of nose contouring. I just kind of do a couple straight lines down like that just to kind of have it a bit more defined. That's also good for like my wide nosed girlies. Like, if you have a similar nose shape to me, then it kind of gives a bit more of an illusion that it's a bit more narrowed down. Not too much, but enough. Okay, and next is blush. So I use a lot of different blushes, but the ones actually I'm doing right now are these three. Another one I love is Rare Beauty in the shade Hope. So I would really recommend this one. This is just one, these are both ran out kind of. I'll see if I can use it. A bit of it. Okay, I might actually be able to use this one because what I do is I either use this one or these ones. These are the Urban Decay Hydromaniac ones in the shade Wrecked and Dripping. And then I mix both of these together and then I go over the top with this Rare Beauty cream blush. I think this is in the shade like Rose something. But now when I do use the Rare Beauty one, I just use the Rare Beauty liquid blush and then this one. So I grab my blush brush. In my brows or anything, I just use a brow gel, which I use the NYX one, Brow Glue. This is the clear one. Now I spend quite a while on my brows trying to make them even. This one always goes perfectly. This right eyebrow, this left eyebrow, I'm pretty sure I have, this eyebrow is more straight and this eyebrow is more arched. So it always takes me a bit longer to get it right. But recently I've just been not really worrying too much and just being like, okay, that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna look at it too much so I don't, you know. And next I use powder. So I use, this is to set in the concealer, the everything, make sure it's matte. Also so good for my oily skin girlies. I recommend two, the Charlotte Tilbury pressed one, and then for loose powder I recommend this Huda Beauty one or the One Size one. They are both good. I just kind of pour it into the lid like so, and then I get this mini Real Techniques powder puff because it has a nice edge, and I start by going on my nose, you see in that line like that, and then I go under my eye just like that. Now let's do it on the other side, and then I kind of do it on the bottom bit of my nose here because that always gets super oily, my chin, and this bit of my forehead here. And then I use this kind of more fluffy small brush and I just tap that off. Now, to get this more glowy effect, after I've done my powder, I actually do like, it's weird because I do it after my powder, but this is just how I do it. I use a Hollywood Flawless filter. This is really running out. This is the mini one. I don't use too much, but I just put it where I feel I need a bit of glow, but without that oily feeling. And I just blend that in with the beauty blender. And that just gives a really nice glow. I wouldn't recommend putting it all over your face at the start because I do think when people do that they do look oily. Obviously I don't tell them that, but I can tell when someone's used this or like the e.l.f. Halo Glow. I haven't tried the e.l.f. Halo Glow, but if someone has, can you let me know down below if it is actually a good dupe. I don't usually like dupes because I prefer to support like the original brand, but I don't know. Now I use the Pixie Petal Dew on the Glow highlighter. It is okay. I wouldn't say I recommend this one too much. If you're more on a budget, this is a nice budget friendly option. It's something like £20 and this will last you a very, very, very long time. Let's see how much I got left, and I've had this for since my birthday, which is in April, and I've still got that much left. I genuinely think this will still last me until like April next year. So I put it on the inside of inner corner of my eyes, not too much, and make sure you also blend it. Unblended highlighter is not cute. I hate to be the bearer of bad news if you do that. I also put it here. And then what I do is I get this fluffy brush again and I get the cream blush and we put that in, and then we also use that to also blend out the highlighter. Okay, and next I'm just officially done with blush, I think. And now it's time for setting spray. Just ran out of my setting spray. This is the Morphe one. I really liked it, I'm going to be honest. I've been on the hunt for a setting spray. It did pill though, so I don't think I will be repurchasing. I want every single person to comment what setting spray they use if it's good, because I've tried Urban Decay, Charlotte Tilbury, Milk, e.l.f., Revolution, Morphe, NYX, L'Oreal. I've tried it all. My favourite was probably the L'Oreal one. This is right now. And this one also wouldn't recommend just because this is the mini one. I've had this for less than 2 weeks and it's ran out. That's not good enough. I still have this one, which is the Revolution one. However, it does start spraying kind of jet. So what I've been doing is just spraying it kind of like onto my counter, onto my vanity. And then I pick it up with the beauty blender kinda. And then let's just lightly tap across my whole face without trying to pick up any product, because that's something that can happen when you set. Actually, start a little bit with my eyes. I use this Fenty Beauty eyeliner. It's a white eyeliner and I just put a really small amount in my waterline, like on the kind of outside. This is in the shade Bad Bride, by the way. Kind of brighten your waterline instead of darkening it, because a lot of people darken their waterline. I prefer to brighten. And next I go on to my lips. So I actually use this Viral Lip Stain, the Sachu one, I think it's called. This is in the shade Pinked. My lip liner, I just do the bottom lip and then the middle bit of the top lip. And then I kind of just wait a couple minutes for that to dry, so I'll see you in a sec. Now, it is dry, but I do just let it stay on a bit longer, and I'll move on to my lashes. So first I'll use the Tweezerman eyelash curler, and just a pre-warning, I will be curling my lashes and putting on a lot of mascara. That's just, you asked for my makeup routine, this is my makeup routine. I make sure my lashes are very curled because I don't have long, luscious lashes, okay? So I have to use a lot of mascara and a lot of curling. Once they're curled, I use the Sky High Primer. I only put that on my top lashes. I also don't put too much. Leave that for like 3 minutes to kind of dry. And while I wait for that, I'm going to take off the lip liner. So I kind of just like open my mouth for it to like cross. Kind of like, and then just kind of peel / kind of like flick it off. And then I go in with a brush and I just blend it. Once it's as blended to your liking, you don't think you have harsh lines anymore. Like that's looking pretty good. I then go in with a lip balm. Now, I actually lost my favourite lip balm. I will be repurchasing because I loved it so much, which was the Laneige Lip Glow Balm Vanilla. That was my baby, but I lost it. So that's the one I would 1000% recommend, way more than what I'm about to use, which is just a Vaseline. But you really want to start with a lip balm before you put on a lip gloss, because that's what kind of heals your lips and keeps them shiny but hydrated is the main thing. Now the lip gloss I like to use is the Giorgio Armani. I think this is the Prisma Glass, and this is in the shade 07. It's more like a brown kind of shade. And that is the lip combo. And now we can carry on with our lashes. So I actually curl them again. And then I'm actually also going to use this kind of separator and use our second mascara, which is the Burgundy Sky High. These are the ones I use, my mascaras, 3 Sky Highs, 1 primer, 1 burgundy, 1 black. So I'm using the burgundy because if you have blue eyes like me, this really accentuates them and brings them out. If you have a different eye colour, like I'm pretty sure if you have brown, you can get the emerald one, or I can't actually remember, or if you have green, you can get the turquoise one. I can't really remember, but if you search it up, what complementary colours, then get that shade in a mascara. And then once that's dry, I like to curl my lashes again. And I also like my mascara to be a bit clumpy, because that's what kind of gives the illusion that I have more lashes and longer lashes than I do. Now, I won't bore you with all of this, but I just put on the black mascara, keep waiting for it to dry, put on more layers and curling it more, and I'll be back once I've done that. Okay, I think I'm done with my mascara. That literally took me freaking forever to be kind of like happy with it. It just takes me a while to think, okay, that's good, you know, like, because I don't really have that much lashes to work with. So I also do apologise because I am not having a good makeup day. I don't know what happened, but I'm now going to take the clips out. Some days I can do the exact same makeup routine every single day. Like, I literally don't change a thing. But somehow it looks different every day. Some days it looks amazing. Some days I'm crying about it. I don't want to cry, but it is not looking good. And I know other people will be like, you look the exact same. But I promise you, this looks terrible. So I'm sorry for having to do a routine and then the result not even looking as good as I hoped. But the actual routine is still a good routine. It's just that sometimes I just have a bad makeup day. Something just happens and something doesn't look right. I'm then just going to put a bit of body spray on, and I'm pretty sure that is my makeup all done. So I think, let me have a look, and that is my official makeup clean girl routine for back to school, for summer, for everything. And thank you guys so much for watching this video, even though the result wasn't as good as expected. I also would like to say I do put on more mascara over the day, more blush, more bronzer, like it just keeps going on, but I'm gonna try and leave it because I'm not even going anywhere apart from I'm going to work later. But yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!